Hello.
Morning, Bhante.
Okay, let us start. You have questions?
Bhante, I don't see a question in the chat yet, but maybe I can ask a question. Sometimes people ask, okay, there's a question right now, so I'll ask this one first. In meditation, in breathing meditation, how do you identify desire, kāmacchanda? Can it be desire to breathe in and out? What should one do to identify desire?
Okay, it is very easy to identify desire. As soon as desire arises, you're paying attention to your breathing will be interrupted, and then your mind will bring certain object that you like very much. Instead of the breath, as I mentioned yesterday, if you remember a piece of cake, instead of the breath, your mind will be on the piece of cake. That instant you know that your mind is full of desire for cake. And therefore it is very easy to identify the desire. Or you heard you remember hearing a very, very good music that you like very much. Then, even though the breath is going on in the background, your mind goes to the music. Or you remember a person you like very much, instead of the breathing, even though the breath is going on in your mind as background, back burner, the mind will be on the person that you like very much. So similarly, if you have smelled something that you like very much, mind goes there. So whatever you like, whatever you appreciate would become a very prominent part in your mind rather than the, the breathing. The breathing is a neutral object. It doesn't have anything to color it. So when this new thought or memory appears in your mind, you forget the breath, forget the neutral object. It is just like in your vehicle, when you park, when you shift the gear, you put it in a neutral. And then when you start, you press the clutch and put your gear to the to first. Like that, your mind breathing remains your neutral object. As soon as new objects arises in the mind latches onto that. And that is how you know that your mind is full of greed. Similarly, hatred, anger. When anger arises, again, your neutral object like the breath will, you will forget it and go to the object that you don't like, that you hate. That can be a situation, a person, or place, or food, or whatever you don't like. Mind will be there. So your mind will be fully obsessed with this new thought. And that's how you know exactly. It's very clear. Okay?
Thank you, Bhante.
Next question.
The next question is, can you please repeat the 3 factors to cultivate mindfulness that you described during yesterday's talk? So the 3 factors to cultivate mindfulness.
To cultivate mindfulness.
Yes, 3 factors to cultivate mindfulness.
I said Yoniso Manasikara and Sampajanya. These are the 2 factors. Sampajanya is a clear comprehension. Buddha has very clearly mentioned when you are focusing mind on your breathing, suddenly certain thought like greed or hatred or whatever arises, you immediately detect it and then you let it go. You have to know the danger of it and you let it go. If a wholesome mental state arises, then you know the benefit of it and you cultivate it. That's what you do with clear comprehension. Yoniso Manasikara is detecting something that arises exactly at the very moment it arises. That means the root, go to the root. Whether it arose from a greed, that is one root, or from the root of ill will, that is another root, or root of confusion, another root, or whether your mind, your thought arose from the wholesome root, like letting go, generosity. Generosity is the diametrical opposite of greed. And if your thought arose from friendliness, loving friendliness, metta, that is the opposite of hatred. And if the mind is very clear, then that is the root of your wholesome mental state. Amoha, as opposed to moha, confusion. So you know the root. If it is wholesome root, you cultivate it. If it is unwholesome root, you let it go. These are the 2 important factors to develop your mindfulness. Okay?
Thank you, Bhante. Last week during the Q&A, you said that in breathing meditation, breathing should be deliberately slow at first. I did not quite understand this. Should we only watch our breath and let it slow down on its own, or should we make deliberate effort to slow down the breathing? Thank you. Can you clarify this, Bhante, please?
Okay. I mentioned, yes, this time you, at the beginning, you breathe slowly, deliberately, and then you know that you are deliberately breathing long, and deliberately you breathe out long. And that is how we have to start our practice. In order to start the practice, we do that. And if we do it very, several minutes, then we get a lot of oxygen into our lungs and charge our red blood cells with oxygen. That, as I said, go to the heart pumps, and then it goes all over the body. This happens very naturally, but the breathing long is long inhaling, long exhaling we do deliberately. Only for the beginning, maybe 2-3 minutes if you do it, then your breath become naturally slow, naturally little faster, It happened naturally. So until that natural breathing begins, you do this. Of course, when you breathe deep several minutes, then you get tired. Then you cannot naturally, you cannot breathe long. Then it slows down. It becomes reach to natural rhythm. So until such time you do it, and it happens almost automatically. Okay?
Thank you, Bhante. The next question is, my parents have deceased, and I was wondering if I can send loving kindness to them during my metta meditations. I have received mixed answers. Some say yes, I can, and others say no.
Your uh,
So the parents have deceased, and the person is wondering if they can send loving kindness to them, if they can send metta to them during their metta meditation, even though the parents are deceived. Can you still send metta to them? Does it affect them?
right, you entertain the thought of your parents, uh, even though they have passed away. Uh, in certain commentaries, it is recommended that you should not send metta to the deceased, uh, parents or teachers or whoever. When they pass away, you don't send metta to them. Their contention is that there is no recipient of your metta. But I think in practice, Buddha in any, you never find in any sutta that Buddha has asked not to send metta to the deceased. And, you know, in one sutta in Madhyama Nikaya, Buddha said that if you want to send your metta to your deceased friends, relatives, supporters, you practice, you become moral, complete your morality out of compassion for those who have passed away. Practice compassion out of metta for those who are living. And therefore, a Buddha has not recommended not to send metta to someone who is passed away, whereas particularly what we do actually in metta practice, even though people, uh, parents, teachers and so forth, even though they have passed away, the memory of them remains in our mind. If, for instance, sometimes somebody has been very negative towards us, hostile towards us, inimical towards us, when the person passed away, we remember that incident, words that person said to us, actions, and so forth. So at that time, their anger rises in our mind, resentment rises in our mind. Whether there is a person or not, resentment is there in the mind. Similarly, when the parents passed away, their memory stays in our mind for a long period of time. So we use metta to overcome that angry thought in our mind. We overcome that angry thought in our mind. In order to overcome that, we practice metta. In other words, whether they are a living being or not, we practice metta for our own peaceful, calm, relaxed state of mind. We want to practice it. whether they are recipients or not. Normally, when we are upset with beings, situations that we remember, but not the person lives in person in front of us. The person doesn't have to be in front of us. It is the memory of the person that lingers in our mind. So it is the memory that hurts us or makes us calm or peaceful. And therefore we practice metta in our own mind, whether they are recipients or not. I think that's a very, very wise advice that the Buddha has given us. Okay?
Thank you, Bhante. The next question is it necessary to understand Abhidhamma to get rid of defilements? Do you suggest that we also study Abhidhamma, or does it not matter so much?
Actually, when you have studied Abhidhamma, you may have additional knowledge, but when you learn Abhidhamma, practicing meditation or mindfulness or understanding the defilements may not change very much. Whether you understand Abhidhamma or not, to understand your own mental states, you have to focus your mind on your own mental states. Abhidhamma is a theory. It can list all kinds of mental states. So you don't have to know Abhidhamma to understand your mental states. And even though you know a lot of Abhidhamma, when you come to the practice, it is your own practice rather than Abhidhamma that helps you to develop your own mind. And when you read the Buddhist literature, especially sutras, you can see there have been many thousands of people who have not even studied, who even don't know very much rules, regulations, and so forth, let alone Abhidhamma. And Buddha gave them instructions, and then they understood instructions, followed instructions, and attained liberation, attained streaming and so forth. So Abhidhamma learning is a scholarly work, and it may help you for learning a deeper area of Dhamma in theories. That gives you theoretical knowledge. Practicing meditation is a practical thing that happens to you every day, even if you don't know anything about Abhidhamma. When greed arises, you know that greed is there. When hatred arises, then you know hate is there. When the mind is clear, you know that mind is clear. When you gain concentration, you know that you gain concentration, and so forth. You know your own mental state exactly as it is without knowing anything about Abhidhamma. And therefore, knowing Abhidhamma might help people to keep thinking, analyzing, and so forth. But I think for the attainment of liberation, knowledge of Abhidhamma is not necessary at all. Okay?
Thank you, Bhante. Actually, I have a follow-up question on this. Sometimes people ask, how should one go about studying the suttas? Like a lot beginning people that first get exposed to Buddhist teachings feel overwhelmed. There's so many suttas and so many texts. How do you start?
You know, there are so many suttas the Buddha has delivered for so many different people because of their own mental state, their own uh, personality, their characteristics, and so forth. I think I have mentioned if you study one sutta, like you select whatever sutta you like, you read several suttas and see some suttas are clearer to you, you stick with that. Especially for meditation, I recommend you read Anapanasati Sutta in Majjhima Nikaya. You study it, you can remember it, and keep reading, and practicing. Anapanasati Sutta. If you want to learn more, you learn. These are. I give you a list of them. You try to study one of them and try to study whichever is clear to you. Secondly, I recommend four foundations of mindfulness. Satipatthana Sutta in Majjhima Nikaya. That's what I've been explaining these days. Or you study Mahasatipatthana Sutta in Digha Nikaya, volume 2 in Digha Nikaya. You can see that. I think if you want to learn meditation, you read only these three suttas and keep reading, practicing. One of these suttas, all of them are equally very good. However, if you want to learn Dhamma more and more and build up your theoretical understanding, Buddhist philosophy, and Buddhist ethics, and so forth in detail, you read all the sutras. If you are interested in learning Dhamma more and more. For your practice, you learn these three sutras. And if you want to practice metta meditation, read only Karaniya Metta Sutta. Karaniya Metta Sutta. That we recite every day. A part of it. The first part is the quality or qualification of one who practices metta. First part. There are 15 qualities. Sakko, Ujocha, Sojocha, Suechocha, Samudu, Antimani, like that. All these are the qualities of one who practices metta. Then, Yekeja Pranabhutati Tasavata, from that time down, from that down, we recite, may all beings be well, happy, and so forth. From that time down is the body of metta practice in Karaniya Metta Sutta. And if you can learn that, it is very easy to remember in Pali or in English, and you use that sutta to practice metta. Okay?
Thank you, Bhante. Okay, the next question is, how can one practice restraint of the senses, especially keeping informed of news and events in the world as it is today? Should we not be aware of what is happening in our communities and the world?
Could you repeat that question again?
Yes, Bhante. The question is how to practice restraint of the senses. And, at the same time, people want to keep aware of the news and the events that are going on in the world. And but this seems to contradict restraint of the senses. How do you handle those two things? Does it mean that you don't want to be aware of what's going on in the world because you're restraining the senses, not watching the news and all this input? How do you reconcile these two things? To be aware of what's going on in the world and restraining the senses.
I see. To restrain your senses, you just understand when you see with something with your eyes. This is a very little, very not very easy, but it is possible. When you see an object, don't think of its details like an artist or poet and so on. Don't think of the details. And don't think of its background and how attractive it is, how ugly it is, how beautiful it is. All these are emotional reactions to the object. Without any such emotional object, when we see, look at, for instance, look at the flower. Look at the flower. You see the flower. You know the flower has a certain color and it is texture, it is soft and so forth and so on. But later you see the flower slowly fades away, withered and die. So we see the impermanence of the flower rather than the beauty, color, attractiveness, fragrance, and all these things. Because all of them are impermanent. All of them impermanent. So we take the whole flower and see this entire flower is impermanent. Whatever is impermanent is unsatisfactory. Whatever is impermanent, unsatisfactory is without self. So when we see the object like that, then you restrain your eyes in letting greed invade your mind. We don't open the eyes to let greed enter our mind, or hatred enter our mind, or delusion enter our mind. We see the object exactly as it is. That means it is impermanent. I mentioned the other day when I talk about feelings, there is a pleasant feeling, what you call samisa sukha, niramisa sukha, pleasant carnal feeling and pleasant financial feeling, niramisa, spiritual feeling. Both of them look at the same object. Carnal pleasant feeling arises looking at the beauty. Spiritual pleasant feeling arises by seeing the truth, true nature, seeing the truth. So we use our senses to penetrate the truth rather than seeing the superficial appearance. And this is how we train our senses. to look at any object. Our sound, that we hear sound, smell, taste, touch, and all this, what you call five uh, objects of pleasure. This is called pancha kama guna. So five uh, objects of pleasure. Five objects of pleasure is the term used for in ordinary term, mundane term, regular terms, conventional terms. But behind that, there is a spiritual side. That is that all are impermanent, all are unsatisfactory, all are without self. This is the theme of spiritual happiness, spiritual, I said, spiritual pain, that is, you see impermanence and so forth, but you have not attained stream entry, and then you will be disappointed. That is called spiritual dukkha, suffering. And also you see all are impermanent in the past, present, future, and so forth. Therefore, there is nothing, no variation, no point in for excitement, because they all are the same. That is how you gain spiritual, neither pleasant nor unpleasant feeling. And that is how we develop our senses, how we restrain our senses from going into one extreme of pleasure or pain, sukha or dukkha. That is, I said, is not very easy, but through the practice of meditation, we can develop it. This doesn't mean that we become very dry, negative, always gloomy. No. This gives us deep insight to have a deeper peace and real happiness. And that's how we develop this. There is a discourse called Indriya Bhavana Sutta in Majjhima Nikaya. I mean, for this kind of knowledge, you have to read books, read sutras to gain deeper understanding of the Dhamma. In Indriya Bhavana Sutta, there was a man who came to see the Buddha. He was a disciple of another city called Parasarya. Parasarya. The disciple of Parasarya came to see the Buddha. Then Buddha asked this man how Parasarya teaches sense restraint, Indriya Bhavana. Then this man told the Buddha, my teacher, Parasarya, teaches that don't look at objects, don't listen to sound, don't taste anything, and so forth. So Buddha said in that case, the deaf and blind can restrain their senses. Blind cannot see at all, deaf cannot hear at all, therefore they may be practicing self-restraint, practicing restraining their senses. And Buddha said, that is not the way that the Aryan tradition teaches restraining senses. And that's how Buddha said, when you see the object, be mindful, don't get carried away with emotions to go to one extreme or the other, and see the object. You can see the object. You don't close your eyes. You see the object exactly as it is and look at it in a neutral state of mind. That is from the very beginning of the meditation practice that Buddha has told us. to see things exactly as they are. I think the other day when I was talking about meditation on the parts of the body, I mentioned this. And friends, this may be enough for today's answers to your question. Questions are very good. You may have more questions, but hold on to them for the next meeting. Okay?
Thank you, Bhante.
Now we have to stop this and we do meditation. We have about 25 minutes of meditation. Okay? Okay, this is metta discourse. This is the discourse you got to remember. If you want to practice metta, okay? May all beings be happy and secure. May all beings have happy minds. Whatever living beings there may be, without exception, weak or strong, long, large, medium, short, subtle or gross, visible or invisible, living near or far, born or coming to birth, may all beings have happy minds. Let no one deceive another, nor despise anyone anywhere. Neither from anger nor ill will should anyone wish harm to another. As a mother would risk her own life to protect her only child, even so towards all living beings, one should cultivate a boundless heart. One should cultivate for all the world a heart of boundless loving friendliness, above, below, and all around, unobstructed, without hatred or resentment, whether standing, walking, sitting, lying down, or when awake. One should develop this mindfulness. This is called divinely dwelling here, not falling into erroneous views, but virtuous and endowed with vision. Removing desire for sensual pleasures, one comes never again to birth in the womb. Now, friends, remember the word visible or invisible. Visible or invisible. The beings that we are using this method for don't have to be in our present, don't have to be uh, even alive, but we know that they were, and the thought of them are in our mind. So we use that as a practice of meditation. And for now, let us begin. We don't have too much time to practice, and let us do it. by means of this meritorious deeds, may I never join with the foolish. May I join always with the wise, until the time I attain Bhavana. May the suffering be free from suffering. May the fear-struck be free from fear. May the grieving be free from grief. So too may all beings be, from the highest realm of existence to the lowest. May all beings arisen in these realms, with form and without form, with perception and without perception, be released from all suffering and attain to perfect peace. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Now,
Sadhu, sadhu.
now this is the end of our session this morning. And may all those who are in hospitals suffering from various diseases taken care of by doctors, nurses, and hospital staff, may they recover very soon, return to their normal life, practice meditation, and attain liberation from samsaric suffering. May the doctors, nurses, and hospital staff who have been taking care of these people with the out of compassion, and may they also find time to practice meditation in spite of their help. These people, they also need meditation to get rid of their samsaric suffering. And may all those who have lost their loved ones and may be grieving, may they all be free from grief and try to understand Dhamma through the practice of meditation and liberate themselves from samsaric suffering. May all those who are in various trouble spots, war zones, poverty-stricken, discriminations, and so on, may they all find time to practice meditation and liberate themselves from samsaric suffering. May all those who are in the northern direction, northeastern direction, eastern direction, southeastern direction, southern direction, southwestern direction, western direction, northwestern direction, northern direction, and down below, above and below. All of them be well, happy, and peaceful. Finally, may they all attain liberation. And I hope to see you, some of you, this afternoon at 3 o'clock, those who are attending afternoon Dhammapada class, and others I see you next week. Okay?
Thank you, Bhante.
Sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu,
Okay.
sadhu.
Thank you, Bhante.
Pranay Bhante.
Chaturi, thank you very much for reading questions for me.
Thank you.